Welcome to this episode. Now, I'm telling you, we're recording this at the end. Great episode. It's long, but you have to stay till the end.
It's a wild ride. You have no idea where it's going. We had no idea.
This is the craziest episode we've recorded yet. So if you're new to this is
a good one to
start with.
Yeah.
Enjoy the show. That's why I'm trying to keep it not numbered so I can just throw it out whenever I want.
This is episode 487.
400. Let me tell you something. If we get to 487 doing every other week, we've been doing this a long time.
That's true.
Yeah. If you would have told me.
If you would have told me, we'd be on episode 487 of this podcast, and we'd look this good for 29 years of doing this podcast. And I'm still single.
No way. That's not going to happen.
I mean, we can only dream.
We can only dream. All right, let me take a water and then we'll do an uncomfortable start to the podcast.
I think we should keep this. I think this should be the uncomfortable start of the podcast.
This right here?
Now. Yeah.
Right this. Me having water?
This whole situation. Take a sip. Hi, welcome to our podcast, If You Would Have Told Me. I'm Emily Page. That's Joe Fernandes. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
He's very thirsty.
So what a dramatic sip I took. Well, you know what it was? I think it got... She just... It got dramatic because when you said I'm Emily Page, I had the water in my mouth and I was like, I didn't need to say Joe Fernandes soon. So then I went...
I got you.
I went... But then...
I want a close-up of that.
Like a great partner in crime,
I got you.
She got me.
I got you.
Shout out to all the people that have been sending great messages and commenting on our posts. We have a few consistent fans across all platforms. Please email us anything if you want to ifyoutoldme@gmail.com. And yeah, we'd like to hear from you guys.
Or DM us.
Or DM us.
DM us if that's easier.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all the things. Shout out to my mom. I just want to give her, because I know she listens. So I was driving the other day and she called me and she's like, I just finished the newest podcast. And she goes, I don't laugh out loud when I'm by myself. She goes, you guys are so silly. You make me laugh out loud. And I was like, so I just wanted to say thank you, Mom.
What's your mom's name?
Marianne.
Shout out to Marianne. Thank you so much.
So if you see, she laughs at every clip we do. Marianne Russo Corsal.
Oh, that's your mom?
That's my mom.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's my mom. So if you want to know who she is.
It's your mom. I was like, man, we got fans.
Got fans. Got my mom. Got...
I keep getting messages from... comics and friends who are just keep talking about our chemistry. I'm like, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
They're like, you guys are so good. I was like, this is just like... But this is how it used to be when we just hang out at the club. Not like the comedy club. Not like when we go clubbing. This is...
Right, yeah. We go, all the clubbing we do. Well, you can't...
So much clubbing. But like, this is green room conversation.
Yeah, but you can't fake chemistry.
No.
Because I have good green room conversation with a lot of comics and laughs, and some of them had wanted to do podcasts with me, but it's not the same type of chemistry.
Right.
It's
different.
It's like I knew we would be good on a podcast together. There was just one time we were just banging back and forth because I have been wanting to podcast again for a couple of years now. And no offense to some of my friends that they
didn't make the cut.
I just was like, I'm not unless I'm feeling it. I'm not because like doing all the work and stuff. I love doing this. So to me, it's not work. It's fun. I love it. But for me to do it, I have to feel it.
Right.
Like I can't. I'm not doing like if I'm pulling teeth.
Yeah, no.
I'm like no.
Well, we're just talking about this off camera. How like we look forward to like when we get together and like do this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's something to look forward to, or like, I don't know. Like I was driving up here, my friend's like, what are you gonna talk about? I'm like, we're gonna find out. Like we have articles ready to go, but we usually just go with it. Yeah,
you don't want to be too
regimented.
Because like I've had people ask me to do podcasts in the past, like, oh, we should do a podcast like on a the podcast should be all about one specific thing. So like a niche. And I'm like, I go, I'm not passionate enough about anything.
Right.
Because I'm like you I don't know if you said it off the podcast or on the podcast, but you were like you don't like to be bored.
I probably said that off. I don't even.
Maybe
I don't even
something
remember.
like that. But I'm like that too.
Bored.
I like new, fresh. I just like to keep it loose,
right?
Loosey goosey. Is that a term? Loose.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey, loosey goosey. Sure.
Yeah. This guy's great. He's so lefty loosey.
Lefty loosey.
Is that what yeah.
Lefty loosey goosey. Yeah, no, but that is the saying.
That's the saying, right? I think that was how you screw in screws. This guy is a righty tighty. I am dumping this guy.
What a righty tighty.
Yeah, but your other guy, I mean, a little lefty loosey, if you know.
Little lefty loosey goosey. Oh my gosh.
But yeah. So, thank you for everyone, and my mother will be happy that I shouted her out on the podcast.
That's great. She's awesome.
Huge fan. Who else? My aunt and my grandma in Florida like the clips.
Aw.
My grandma don't understand the whole podcasting thing.
That's my grandma too. She's like, I like your clips. You guys are great.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, she said something. I was talking about something. She goes, I said something about like, said something about dating. How I'm like not dating right now, whatever. And she goes, what about that guy on the podcast? Like Joe? She's like, I was like, he's married. She goes, but he could be your friend still. I'm like, but we are already friends. Like,
we're friends on the podcast.
But we're also like friends. So he'll be your friend. Thank you, Grandma. He will be my friend.
Imagine we weren't though. Like, we have this great chemistry on camera, and we're like, get the F out of here.
We're gonna hate this guy.
Oh my God. I bet that's what it's like when you're like paid professional like radio hosts, and like you just start hating each other, but you still got to come in. Hey, how's it going?
Actors. I've heard so many stories of actors who like did not get along on set, and then are doing like love scenes together. I'm like, how do you?
Yeah,
you gotta be really like. I've never been an actor, so I don't know, but I'm sure that mindset, like you have to really be in character.
Yeah, I did it in some one-act plays I've acted in. Not love scene, but like it's a love scene where like as I'm about to kiss, like the lights go out the end. That's like the scene or whatever, and it's because you get paired up with someone, you don't know them.
Yeah.
And then you start rehearsing together, and then you get a little bit more comfortable, but it's like a very it's just awkward.
It's like forced.
It's forced. It's
because you have to have chemistry, even if you don't have chemistry.
Yeah, you create it.
You have to just fake it till you make it.
You act like
you like them.
You act like you like them. Yeah, well, yeah. It's
that's some people in actual relationships, though. I've done that.
What, act like you like someone? And stayed with them even though you didn't like them?
Longer than I needed to, yeah.
I think a lot of people do that.
You check out emotionally or mentally first.
What was the longest you stayed with someone when you knew for sure it was over?
When I knew for sure it was over? Because
we all you could get like a feeling, but that doesn't mean like you don't dictate your life by every feeling you have, or else you'd be like all over the place.
That's true. I mean, I think I have a really bad habit of staying. Like, I will milk a relationship until, like, I know that I've done all I can and there's just, like, no hope.
Yeah.
Probably a few months. Like, I think my marriage was, like, up and down, up and down, up and down. And I would say, like, probably by April I knew I was done. And, like, our divorce was finalized in, like, September.
So, beginning of the year, it took you till April?
Like, April. I knew in April of that year that we were just like, there was no fixing it.
Gotcha.
And then the divorce was final by September. That actually was pretty quick. My first serious boyfriend, though, I think a year and a half in, I was pretty much like kind of starting to check out. We stayed together another year and a half. But that was more like up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
And it was like my first real relationship, so.
Yeah, you didn't know how to.
I didn't know how to end it or if I should end it. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, maybe it's me.
I used to just wait for girls to break up with me.
I think that's a lot of guys, though. Like, I'm finding that, like, I've ended most of my relationships.
Yeah.
Besides, like, one or two. And they weren't, like, serious boyfriends. But, like, my serious relationships, I have ended all of them. But I don't think the guys were happy either.
No, I was happy a few times when they did it.
I was actually happy.
I was like, thank you. I could do for me what I can't do for myself.
But I feel like sometimes that is true. Like, I think sometimes it's harder to be the one who breaks off the relationship than to get broken up with. Sometimes, not all the time.
Yeah.
But I hate breaking up with people.
Yeah. Oh, like doing
Like,
it?
I hate it because I feel bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I do care about these people, even if I'm breaking up with them. Like, just because I don't think we can be, I mean, most of the time.
Right.
Just because I don't think we're a good match doesn't mean I wish ill on them.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Yeah, there's been a few relieving ones in my life where I was like, oh, thank God.
It doesn't feel relieving at first, but then for me, it's always like, it feels like really crappy going into it, but then once you say those words, then the relief sets in.
Right.
Even like ending my marriage. Like, even like that was like, not to get too serious, but like to get to that point where I knew it was over, it was like, it's like you're building, and then you say those words, and there is like that relief of like, well, now the hard part is over. Like, I said the words. Now it's out there.
Yeah, you put it out there.
Right.
That's like the girl I lived with years ago in my early 20s. I remember I think we both didn't want to hurt each other.
Right.
But you don't know how to how to do it. And I remember just like coming home one night, laying in bed, and I'm like, I don't think this is working for me anymore. And she goes, I don't think it's working for me anymore either. I'm
See? And I think that's most cases.
We're both very upset because you're like I don't have any like exes that I had animosity towards.
No.
Like I never had like volatile breakups or
Stop bragging.
Yeah, I mean
I am on all good terms with all my exes besides one.
Yeah.
Like, all my other exes were amicable. If I ran into them in the store, I wish them. Even my ex-husband and I are very civil.
Yeah.
I'm friends with him and his new wife on social media. Like, there's no ill will.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Except for one.
Except for one. Yeah,
But this ex,
I think 2 years was the longest I stayed with someone.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Well, not from definitively, but like.
Okay, when you started to feel it.
I started to feel it. It took me about 2 years.
Okay, then I could say probably around the same, maybe like a year and a half.
Yeah.
Like, even my marriage, like, there was a reason why we got divorced, which I won't talk about on camera. But our relationship we were growing apart probably for a couple years too.
Yeah.
But it was, again, like
Yeah. It's so weird. The whole thing's weird. I'm trying to think of girls I broke up with. There was a girl, Jillian, I dated, but she cheated on me, so that was easy.
Don't you love when you want to break up with somebody, but they give you an excuse? Like, you want to break up with them before they do this stupid thing, but then they give you a reason. You're like, oh, this is it.
Yeah. I had no choice. I'm like, well,
you did it.
My friends, I remember, I got rid of her. Like,
I got rid of her. I got her. I just dumped her out.
She cheated on me. And my buddy goes, yeah, but she's hot, dude. I go, yeah, but.
Do you think cheating is a be-all, end-all? Or do you think it's situational?
For me, yeah. I think so. Only because it's not even. It's the. I just don't think I could trust somebody,
right.
I can't live if. I've had girlfriends. I think she was like the only one that cheated on me that I know of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we say that too. That I know.
That I know of, but like. Even if a girl's acting, the moment I can't, the moment, whether it's justified or not,
right?
Whether it's justified or not, the moment I feel I can't trust, I have to go because I can't live my life like that.
No, I
you know
totally
what I mean?
get that.
I can't. I did that one time where there was a girl. I think she used to like try and I don't know if she was trying to make me jealous.
Oh, I hate that.
But like, I expressed like whatever. The way you're acting and living, I'm not digging it.
Right.
Setting a boundary.
Sure.
For me, setting a boundary. And it was like, well, this is how I want to live. And I'm like, cool. But I can't.
Driving with me.
She's like, so you don't trust me? I do, but it's an odd feling.
Right. You have to go with your intuition, your gut.
But it's an odd feeling. Yeah. But yeah, the cheating thing, I don't think I could. I don't know. I've never had that and then tried again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Same.
So I don't know what that would be like because I was so, I don't know.
Yeah, I get the same thing. Like I feel like trust was a huge thing for me when I was younger. I dated some guys. My first real boyfriend really like would try to make me jealous.
Yeah.
And I think that did a lot of damage on me for my romantic relationships because I was always like, I don't know. I feel like I dated a lot of guys who tried to make me jealous. And I don't know what it was, like a power move or whatever.
It's a power move.
Right. But as I've gotten older, I just like, if you cheat on me, just tell me. Because we'll play it one of two ways. Either I'll leave or I'll do it right back. But like, don't play the game if you don't want to play the game. Like,
yeah. So,
like,
so would you would leave?
I would leave probably. Yeah. I'm a big like never say never person. So like I've lived a lot of life and I've gone through a lot of experiences that I never thought I would go through. Like, right? Like, no one gets married thinking they're going to get divorced, right?
Yeah.
So I think that changed my perspective on a lot of things. I would love to never be in that situation where I'd have to make that decision. But I'm also like, I'm a person where I'm like, I could say I would leave.
Yeah.
But, you know what I mean? Like...
I think that's one of the, what do they call them?
Non-negotiable.
I think that's one of my non-negotiable. It's like, because it's, you know, it's not even like the sexual part of it or anything. It's the deception. So
for me, I think it would be more of the emotional aspect of it that would kill me. Like, I think that if I found out, like, it would be seeing, like, the messages or, like, the, like, not even, like, but, like, I don't know, like the emotional aspect of the deception.
Okay.
Like, are you emotionally connected to this person?
Okay. So if they just had a one-night stand fling with no emotion, you'd be like,
I think that wouldn't bother me. That wouldn't bother me as much. But would it bother me? Of course it would bother me. Because then it's the trust thing, the deception thing.
Yeah, it's
like
all about
all
the
of
lying
that.
for me.
It's all
like
right.
whether you cheat, put it this way, cheating or no cheating, if you lie, if you're a liar,
right.
Gotta go. Like I can't put up with liars because
I'll never trust you.
Like even friends, like if you're just like within reason, obviously with your friends, like if they're lying to like because they're embarrassed about something,
sure.
But like, they're lying to me.
If you ask them specifically about
me, like something with us, I'd be like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, I'm saying, it's very funny. Maybe through my years of therapy or like I said, I try to live in a gray area with most of my things. So you'll hear me a lot say, I'll never say never, or I'll try everything once because like, I don't know. So would I probably like, would I say?
Dude, some guys wants to cheat with you, you'd be like, I haven't tried it yet. I've been trying it once.
I'll try it once. I'll let you know.
And then your boyfriend will get mad at you and be like, you cheat on me. Like, well, I told you I tried everything once. And I never say never.
And I never say never. I don't like it. No. All in reason. Like, I'm never trying meth, right? Like, so. But I think there's a gray area in so many situations. But not with certain things. Like, I have my own list of non-negotiables. Like, the worst thing I've ever had to deal with in a relationship is, like, neglect and, like, emotional abuse. I've fortunately never had to deal with, like, any physical abuse or anything like that. But guys can be pretty... People in general, women too, can be pretty manipulative with their words and how they use it, and scare tactics and guilt trips are like
I hate guilt trips.
The worst. They really used to. I used to be bad with me. Yeah. Like I would feel so guilty for nothing, for like literally no reason, but they knew how to.
Yeah. When I was younger, because like I remember like dating a lot. And it's like you always think like, oh, I'll learn something from this relationship. Then this new person's totally different.
Right.
None of it applies to them.
Right.
And it's just like you're like, I don't even.
I feel like you learn more about yourself and what you want and what your boundaries are for every breakup. Like that's for me.
Right. So that's the only thing you can do.
Everyone's so different, and your relationship with every person is so different. Like my relationship with one ex is completely different than my relationship with the other ex. Like with its own set of issues and its own set of good things and like...
Right. You got to start off with a clean slate. Because I dated girls in the past where like I was paying for things the last guy did.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And you're just like, hey, what?
Yeah.
Like, crazy lady.
I didn't do
happening?
This. Right.
I don't know where this is coming from. Yeah, well, he used to.
I'm not him.
Cool.
Right.
Great. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You know.
No, but it's true.
That'd be a nightmare. It was a nightmare back then.
I'm guilty of that too.
Of what?
Of doing that.
Of
like taking my old.
Right. You think it's because like not enough time spent between relationships? I think that's because back when I was younger, we'd like bounce from one to the.
It could be. I was a serial monogamous. Phenomena.
Monogamous?
Yeah, did I say that?
Yeah.
I said it,
but
then
then
it
you were
sounded
trying
weird.
To singular like a monogama.
I started singing the Muppets.
But monogamous. I'm a monogama.
New word, monogama. No.
I'm monogamizing all over town.
All over. No, I was the same way. I usually am like a relationship person.
Yeah.
I try to casually date.
It's so weird.
It's so weird. It's like, because I don't know.
What I hated about dating was I just always felt I was on a job. I hate job interviews. And I always felt like I was on a job interview.
It is.
And I hate it. It's like, put it this way, everyone that I had I dated people, but I've only loved probably less than a handful of people in my life. You know what I mean? Like real love. And they were always friends first. Like I never dated a stranger.
Right.
And I don't know why.
Right.
It's just the way my life always was. I always knew someone for a year or more without any of like that even being part of it.
Yeah, I had to do a deep dive into like thinking about like how many of my partners I've ever actually loved. Because I think there's a difference between loving somebody and being in love with somebody.
Yeah. How many?
That I've loved or that I've been in love. What?
How deep was the dive?
It was pretty deep.
And wait, what was the love or in love?
Yeah. So I think there's a difference between like I've loved people, like loved them and cared about them and wished them well, and then I've been in love with people.
Now do you consider in love that initial like infatuation?
No,
or like...
for me, no. For me, it was something that I never felt until I felt it, and I was like, "Oh, this is what other people have been talking about."
Right.
And it was for me. It was like I love this person unconditionally, like so for me. This is getting really deep. This is like a therapy session. For me, I've always felt like I've always been 1 foot out the door in every relationship I've been in. So I've always been looking for like waiting for that to drop. The foot, what is it, shoe?
Yeah, the shoe to drop.
Shoe,
the foot to drop, the shoe to drop, the leg. That'd be great if you were just like just a person that's so adamant, but the sayings are always wrong.
It's a great sketch. It's a great sketch idea. A girl in my not to cut out of this very serious topic. I took a sketch class, and this girl did this one where this whole sketch was the guy using chef's kiss wrong. Like you just kept saying shit, but using it incorrectly. It was hilarious, crying, laughing. Anyway, but for me, it's more like because this is what we talk about in therapy. I think I've loved a lot.
We don't have to talk about this.
No,
on
it's
the
fine.
podcast.
We're just cut the whole thing out. No, but I think there's a difference between loving somebody and being in love with somebody.
Tell me the difference. That's what I'm trying to find out.
I think for me it was just this feeling of being all in.
Being all in.
And being all in with no hesitation and knowing that I would do whatever I needed to do to make it work.
Okay.
Whereas in other situations where I loved somebody but maybe I wasn't in love with them.
Yeah.
Over time, I was looking for a way out.
Yeah, I've dated girls. I used to be able to tell when they were half in, half out.
Yeah, I'm probably one of those.
I remember being like, yeah, this ain't gonna work. I was like,
yeah,
I'd bail on those quick. The moment I realized that, I was like out. But I wouldn't consider them breakups because it was like almost like
you never really
read it early on.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay.
For me, it's like I found myself in a couple of past relationships, like trying to convince myself that it was a good relation. Like I do love them. I should love because they are a good person and they are this and they are that. And I was trying to convince myself that I should want to be with them.
Yeah.
And there's literally only been one person that I have ever dated that I did not feel like I had to convince myself that I wanted to be with them. So I think I've only been in love with one person in my life. I think I have loved
this pre or post marriage?
After.
After.
I don't even. Yeah.
Is it?
What?
Is it?
No.
No.
Absolutely
there's another
not.
person we talked about.
No.
Gotcha.
But I think that I loved a lot of people. Like, not a lot, but I've loved, like, every guy I've dated. Like, there was love there. But there was also a lot of me convincing myself that they were the right person for me.
So the one you really loved after you were trying to convince yourself?
No, I didn't have to.
Oh, you didn't have to?
I just knew.
You just knew?
Yeah.
Okay. What the hell happened with that one then?
Oh God, that's all.
Okay, I'm not trying to make this into a therapy session for
We're
Emily.
talking about depression.
It was just flowing conversation.
No, it's like it's just life.
Yeah, life.
Life happens.
Life happens. No, I mean, yeah, I think if I was to think, probably like 2 or 3.
Right.
Possibly, and
you went from you said a handful. No, you said less than a handful.
Less than a handful,
okay.
which is still 2 or 3.
Because the handful's what, 5?
5. That's a whole hand. 5 digits.
But maybe like I have tiny hands, so like.
Can you give me less than a handful, like 15?
What if they're little?
Little hands?
Little hands. I have little hands.
No, but
I'm just.
Oh yeah.
What if I was missing a finger?
Oh well, that's. Oh my God, my thing's full. Yeah. Sorry, we just steered away from this. I feel like you're like,
why?
Oh, because I thought you were like this is a therapy session, so I didn't want to make you uncomfortable or something.
No, this stuff doesn't bother me. There's certain things I'll talk about, and there's certain things I won't. But like,
there's definitely things I won't talk about on the podcast.
Right, 100%.
Sure.
Right,
just out of
same.
respect for people.
100%.
You know
Like
I'll
never get specific with people.
Right.
I only will talk about like how so for me, like more of that. The interesting thing for me that's been since my divorce is learning more about me and how I love, like other like how like like how like I never thought I could love somebody as deeply as I found out I can. So it's been good for me, like eye-opening.
Yeah,
I've learned a lot, but that comes with, I think, growing up and meeting different people.
Well, like you said, you learn more about yourself because it's like whatever, like every friendship, every relationship, you just helps you become a better version of yourself.
Right, 100%.
And stuff like that. Unfortunately, with the relationships, it's got to come with heart-wrending pain and agony. Right. You're like, I learn lessons a little easier.
I would like to learn these lessons, like, less lessons.
Yeah.
Good with lessons.
Good with lessons.
Good with lessons. But yeah, so I'm gonna try dating again.
You're gonna try dating again.
Trying dating again.
And
now that I know I can do it, like
now that you know you can.
Now that I know that I can.
Yeah. So do you have like a target? Like demographic. Oh yeah, like, or you're just like, I go with the flow.
I am gonna go into it, just go with the flow. I'm a very big vibey person, so like I know within like 5 minutes of meeting somebody that like if it has a possibility of becoming something.
I understand that.
You know, like you ever meet I remember being in college. There's one guy, I thought he was gorgeous. I had met him at a mutual friend's party, and we talked a little bit, but not a lot. And then so he asked me out on a date. I was so excited, and I showed up on the date. And as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, damn it! It was so awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah. We weren't vibing. Great guy, just weren't vibing. And I went out like on 3 or 4 dates with him to try and and from then on I was like, I will give you 2 dates. Because first dates can always be a little awkward.
Yeah.
So unless I'm really like not feeling it, I won't give you another date after the first date. And I'm also not opposed to like, I'll split the bill. Like I'm not one of these people, like you don't have to pay the first time.
Yeah.
Like I'll split the bill. I'll pay. Like I don't, because sometimes a girl's like, I own, like he has to pay.
Yeah, I think guys like to do that. I mean, not that a girl couldn't pay for me, but I my whole life I've always paid.
So what about this though? So this is where,
I like to. It makes me feel like like
Good.
a guy. Like I just, it feels like my role, and I like that role.
Yeah, but that's great.
You know what I'm saying?
So you wouldn't care then, like, so say you went on a date with somebody, and it's a first date, and you pay, and then you get home later that night, and you text or call, because no one calls. You text, and she goes, like, I had a great time, but I'm really not feeling it. You wouldn't think that she, like, took advantage of you?
No.
That's awesome, and I would agree with that because, but there's a lot of, I'm on like these dating Facebook pages, and these girls are like, these guys are then Venmoing them.
That's crazy.
And being like, pay me back then. Isn't that insane?
It is, because it's not even, it's just what you do.
Right.
And it's just, I just think it's part of the
culture, dating culture.
It's just the right thing to do. And right. There wasn't Venmo when I was dating, so
Venmo me back.
And I would never. I've had girls offer to pay when we weren't vibing over dinner.
Right, like I always,
they would be like, oh, and then I knew we weren't vibing. And you're like, oh, we should split it, and it
depends.
If she was like an ass,
right?
Like I would be like, sure.
But if she was
split it, but if it was just like.
It just didn't work, but it was a nice time.
Yeah. Let's see. So it was years ago. I'll put it this way. I never dated in the app world. I dated in the online dating world. I did like Match.com.
I've heard that one. That one's still around.
And so I met a lot of girls on there, went on a lot of dates. I'm actually still friends with some of them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Like we went on one date, whatever, like we went to go mini golf. We went and get like something social. We can talk. But then even at the end of the night, it's like, I had a good time with you, but we know just from our talking,
we're just friends.
Like there's a girl, Denise. She lives like in Cherry Hill.
Okay.
And we're still Facebook friends to this day. Yeah. I think she likes some of our podcast clips.
Oh, hey Denise, thanks.
If she's listening, I don't know, but like we went on a date. I think think maybe that one was mini golf. I drove down there, and we just saw she was very religious. Mm-hmm. Very and just. It's just a different lifestyle than me. And I think we both knew, because we're both being honest with who we are, that it just wasn't. And then we had a great time. We hugged. And then, social media friends.
Right. Well,
but I still paid for everything. You know what I mean? It's like, I still paid. But even if I was in a relationship with a girl.
I don't mind when I'm in a relationship. I'll pay sometimes. That's just.
Yeah. But I think guys I can't speak for all guys. I think guys.
I'm going to go on every day and be like, my friend Joe Fernandes says that all guys like to pay. So pay up. Yeah.
Well, I'll even being married, like I pay for every. I don't know if it sounds corny, but like I like doing the guy. I like being a guy.
I think
and
that's
doing
great.
a guy things and like. And I don't know. I feel like a guy that would want a girl to pay is like a simp. You know what I mean? Like
you heard it here first, folks.
Right? I don't know. Like, is that? I don't know. Yeah.
I actually like what you're saying, and I think there's less and less guys that think that way, which is sad, or at least the guys I've experienced. Yeah. I agree. Like, I don't have a problem paying. But it is nice to be treated by a man. Yeah. Yes. Well, it's like, I don't know. It's it's just the way it is. If I'm on a date and it's like, I'll always offer, like, if they're like, no, I insist on paying, I'll be like, do you want me to leave the tip? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'll like do that. Yeah. They'll usually be like, no. But I always offer just because I feel like it's polite. I don't know. If I knew I liked a girl a lot, like, because sometimes I remember like there was a girl I met at a coffee shop. I'm sitting in it was like a Barnes and Noble. Me and my buddy Howard. Yeah. My buddy Howard was going through like a divorce or whatever. Nice to meet him there, and he'd just be venting to me. And there was like this really cute girl, and I was like, he's like, you should go talk to her. I was like, yeah, I don't know what to say because it's weird going up to people. So I was like, I went over to her. I was like, listen, my buddy bet me $50 that I wouldn't come over here and talk to you. That worked though. So, and get your number. So you can give me a fake number. Just give me a number so I can make $50. Did it work though? It did work. You got a number? She gave me her number and her. This is how long ago it was her AIM. Oh my gosh! Thing. Yes. So she gave me her number, and then
but I did I gave them my credit card when I got in, so it was just all done.
Oh, really?
It didn't even work out with that girl, but I thought it was pretty cool.
That's cool.
I learned that on a movie somewhere. I remember I was sitting there. I learned that on a movie, and I was like,
that's a slick move.
I'm gonna try that.
So you guys only went on one date?
I think we went on 2 dates, but she was in like grad school. It was just a lot going on. I don't know. No vibe. Like it was a vibe. Right. Like she was gorgeous. Right. So I really wanted to impress her.
You were like, I really want the vibe.
Impress her. So I tried really. I was like, because I think I saw it in a movie. I'm like, I'm doing that.
I'm doing that.
I'm doing that. That's cool. And then, but yeah, I don't know her aim anymore. I think we stopped talking after that.
You're gonna put your away message up.
Like, I used to like doing stuff like that. I used to like trying to.
That is the one thing I miss about dating. Like I miss the act of like I love meeting new people. I like going out, meet for drinks, go to an activity, go for dinner, like whatever, go for coffee. I do miss that aspect of dating. I don't miss the emotional attachment. The emotional attachment and like.
What do you mean?
Like I don't miss the heartache. You know what I mean? Like I like the getting to know people, but then like.
The heartache when it's over,
like if it ends,
yeah. Well, I guess that's the risk. The risky. I talked to a lot of my friends who are single on those apps, and they just the whole like communication is all off, and everything's weird with people. Like
it's like a numbers game.
They're like, "What do you think she means by this?" And I'm like.
Oh, people need to stop overanalyzing.
What do I think? I don't even know who you're talking about. I was like, I've never even met her yet.
Also, why would you ask me what? Yeah, like
they'll be like, so like they'll show me a thread like I said this, and then she said this, and I said this, and then she said that. What do you think that means? I go, I'm not I don't know.
It is, but people. So I used to when I would be on the apps, I would be on the apps for like 3 months, and then I would take a break because they do get like. They do cause me some anxiety because the apps do. But it's like, how else do you meet people? You know what I mean? Like I meet people from time to time.
In person anymore?
You barely do. Like
because nobody goes out anymore.
Nobody goes out. I don't leave my house unless I have plans. But like I went and sat at a bar the other day, and just grabbed a drink, and like it's just like me and a bunch of couples. So it's like the apps are there's a purpose for the apps, right? But they are overwhelming and they can be a little crazy.
I have friends that met their wives or husbands on apps, and it worked out great. Yeah. But I also think they were ready for something to work out. Like,
100%.
You know what I mean?
You have to be in that mindset.
You have to be in that mindset, not like looking for hookups or something like that.
Right.
My friends that show me things like that, I think they're in that realm, so they're probably like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't even know what you mean. I don't even know what I mean. What are you talking about? I mean, mind
read her mind.
I'm a text decipherer now. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Based on how this is making you feel, I don't think she don't like you.
Well, here's my whole thing too. Is like it should be easy. I'm a big believer, and if it's the right person, it should be easy. The vibe should just be there, even via text. Like even like. You're not looking for a pen pal, right? So what I would find on the apps, like what I would find on the apps is you get these guys that just like want to, or even I'll have guys that come in my DMs and we'll have like a nice conversation and they'll talk, but they never ask me to meet up, and like I'm done. Like I'm not gonna like
talk on the phone anymore.
There's people who talk on the phone. I don't really like to talk on the phone, but there's been guys that I've talked to on the phone that like have won me over. That's the way to win me over. Like I want to have a conversation.
Yeah, because I even do it even like with my work. Like people will be, I'm like, dude, can you call me?
Right.
Because I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And I'm tired of like, ding, 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 ding. I couldn't imagine that in like the dating realm where it's like, because you lose context.
100%.
And sometimes you want to hear their voice. Like,
well, because my
mom one time tried, if my mom's listening, she remembers, she tried hooking me up with someone she used to work with.
Ooh.
And,
you didn't like her voice?
She talked like she had like this like so like I'm trying to come up with a sentence that could really like show her voice. Right. So I went out to dinner with this guy and it cost me $50.
You didn't want to date that?
No. So I remember sitting there at home like because it was so like crazy to me that I was like I did go on one date with her to see if it was like
just the phone.
The phone.
Maybe there's something wrong with her phone.
Yeah, but no.
Those are voice.
And I'm a person that I'm very facial with my emotions and stuff, and I think
you scared
she
her.
was like doing her little.
She a donkey?
Donkey. She was. And I was probably. I could just picture me across the dinner table like.
No, but I 100% get it. So for me, it's like I have this rule too, where I won't give a guy. Last time I was on the dating apps was like a year and a half ago ish. And I refused to give a guy my phone number until we got to the third date. Like, you don't need my phone number. Like, you can just message me on the app. We are not exchanging phone numbers until I know this is. Guess how many guys got my phone number? Zero. One almost got my phone number. Yeah. But then, like, that was my dating app rule. But then I met, like, I had hit it off with a bartender. And at my friend's birthday, and I gave him my number that night. So, like, you know what I mean? Like,
the vibe, like you said.
It's the vibe.
It's the vibe. That's funny. I was just thought in my head because all the guys that are in your DMs on social media probably are going to listen to this episode and be like, I'm getting data. I'm going to learn how to win her over.
They're all actually very... To the men in my DMs, if you're listening to this, if I reply to you, that means like I can have a conversation with you. There's plenty of people I just ignore.
Yeah.
Plenty.
Do you get like, you must get so many. I'm just thinking about the modern guys that I see from the outside. Like I'm not in that world, but I watch. I'm always watching what people are doing. Right. I'm watching.
Let's see if there's anything in here right now.
If they're like, I bet in the social media texting world of dating, there's a lot of misunderstanding
I am a very outgoing and bubbly.
Right.
And I think sometimes, and I'm flirty, like that's just like my personality.
Right.
And I think sometimes people read that wrong.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I don't know how to turn it off.
But I wonder, in person, but like, when you're around someone in person, if they're flirty or like acting like that, you may read it wrong, but at least in person, there's usually a tell that someone is that way, and it doesn't mean they're into you.
Right.
But I bet through DM and text, because now this person's creating a story in their mind that they're not seeing, and we all know people in fantasies, it always works out. You know what I mean? So I'm just picturing these guys just like, if you're like responding anything favorably.
Right. So usually I used to just like it. And like, then sometimes I don't even like it. I just look at it and I just like don't respond or react in any way.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get it. Sometimes they don't.
I couldn't imagine.
The amount of people I'm like, I should probably just go tell them all. But I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to be like, leave me alone. Like,
it's harmless, I guess, if it's just through.
I mean, if somebody was to directly ask. So here's the thing with these guys. None of them directly have ever asked me out. None of them.
So what do they do?
They just talk to me.
Just talk to you?
Just talk. They'll be like sometimes they'll be like flirty, but not really. But never have they been like, I would like to meet. Would you be interested in going out to grab coffee? None of them. None of them. Maybe one, but like not recently. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Have I gone on dates with guys from my DMs? There was like one guy I dated for a little bit that we started talking in the DMs, and that's how we ended up meeting up and like whatever.
Yeah.
But usually, no, they don't. There's no follow through.
Yeah, because I think that's like a modern guy thing, where I think everyone's so home and in their device, and that's just the world. They're just a virtual world. Like I read an article how like guys in their, like people in their 20s are not even like hooking up anymore. They're all just like online. Like all the guys are like just video game addicts.
Oh my God, I believe it.
And just I don't know. It's insane to me.
Well, people were telling me, like, I always date older guys. That's always like my thing. So like I'm 30. How old am I? 34. So I will date like 35 to probably like 45. Like that's usually like my age. I try not to go more than 10 years older than me. But I will not date a guy younger than me. Like even a week younger than me. I'm like, no. My friends are like, you have to date younger guys. I'm like, why? I don't want to train them. Like you gotta train older guys anyway. Yeah. But like but people are like, apparently that's like the thing you gotta go for. I'm like, I don't really want to date a guy like maybe like 31, maybe like 2 or 3 years younger than me.
I guess you can.
But like,
I guess you can't take them out. I mean, who knows? You can't take the younger guys out of the equation. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's someone that's wise beyond his years. I don't know.
My other problem is as a teacher too. I've like taught guys that are now in their 20s, and I'm like, I don't want to. I've taught you, like not you particular, but like your age. I don't know anymore. I don't even know. Here's my thing with. This is why I think I might be more successful dating now when I go back into it. I think I have the better mindset. I think I used to take it too seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I shouldn't take it seriously, but I just want to go and have fun. And like whatever happens, happens. And I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. And I used to be like, oh, I really like this guy. And then it would end. And then like, oh, I really like it. And it's like, I like boom, 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 boom. Like just.
So you like a guy and then.
I would be like, let me feel this. Not, or it just would fizzle.
Just would fizzle.
It just fizzle.
Yeah, I remember those days. But it was brutal.
Yeah, but then if you're talking to more than one person at the same time, sometimes like I'm like, I don't like that either.
Yeah, I tried that once years ago, and it just felt awkward.
Right? It feels like
because because you always like one of them more than the others. Mm-hmm. And then when you're with the others, you feel so guilty.
Right.
And then, and like I said, I couldn't imagine. Like I said, this is texting and social media era where people are hitting you up and stuff. So it's like, I just couldn't. I don't know. Well, I couldn't imagine that now. Is what I'm trying to say. Where like you're with the guy you kind of like, but the guy you really like's hitting you up.
Right. You're like, oh. Well, and my other thing is too, like I have a kid. So it's like, if I'm going on these dates and I'm, taking time away from spending time with my kid, it better be worth my time.
Yeah.
Or then you get, like, I feel like it's always like, you get the guys who want to see you all the time. And I'm like, I don't want to see you all the time. I want to see you like once a week.
Gotcha.
And then you get guys that are like, see once.
So you want to see them once a week?
Like once a week is fine. I don't need, especially at the beginning. Once a week, I don't need to see you. We all have lives.
Right. That's a red flag though. If someone wants to be with you all the time, that's like a huge obsession.
Right. Too soon. If it's too soon, like that's the red flags I used to ignore because I used to I was a prime person to fall for like love bombing. They say it's called.
I don't
love
know
bombing.
The current terms.
I just wanted to like appear. Love bombing is when somebody like puts it on real thick right from the beginning. And like I, have been points in my life where I was like super vulnerable, like right after my divorce, where like it felt good to feel wanted, right?
Right.
But it's like too much too soon. So I would rather have like a slow build up. Like let me get to know you first. Let's hang out. Let's see if we're vibing, and then we'll see where it goes.
I think that's why like all my serious relationships were always with people I knew almost friendly for a while first, because I think I'm probably like a sucker for like romantic comedies, like the slow burn relationship. If I think back of all my real relationships, it was always like even the girl I lived with for a couple of years. I guess I could say her name. It's been like 20 years.
That girl.
Her name's Allison. She was a nice girl. You know what I mean? But
how long were you guys together?
3.5, 4 years.
And that was the one you knew for like a couple of years. It was over
because it was like, from what I remember, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like it was like there was a lot of tension for like a couple. She was with other people. I was with other people, and it was always this like, right. And it was like. You'd like put the brakes on. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then it'd be like, oh, I was with someone. And then it was like, and then I wasn't. She was. It was like this thing. And then, I'm trying to remember. It was just like some wet, like just this crazy organic thing where it was like, it wasn't even like said.
It just worked.
It would just like, it wasn't like, hey, will you go?
Right.
Well, yeah, you want to do this now? This thing it was just like this, like, oh, you want to, like, just like friends, like hang out, and then just like,
it just happened.
And then
but
I think that's why it was so hard to break up, like I said earlier, because I think it was we were young.
And also you had a friendship.
Young, changing a lot. You don't realize how much you don't realize, and you're like growing apart, like just growing apart.
Yeah.
Wanting different things, but not wanting to hurt the other person. I think we were both in this same thing where it's like, I ain't feeling no more. I don't want to hurt them. Because
you don't want to, you don't want to ruin that friendship. It's not even the romantic relationship you want to hold on to.
Like, not that we're.
Are you guys okay now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, she's married with a couple kids up in like Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Like,
so it worked out.
I've run into her.
Right.
We never were friends.
Right.
Like, because it just, I think, for me, I just think it would be too awkward.
Right.
When you're that invested with someone. You know, but I think it was like we ran into each other one time at like a Target, like I was Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, hey. And then we went and had like dinner at Applebee's together.
Nice.
And we just like talked.
Caught up.
Hey, blah, blah, blah. Like whatever. And it was like cool. It was like a weird, like, it was just like a weird.
I've done that.
Happened to be in the same place at the same time. And it was like, yeah let's do it. And then, yeah, like we're Facebook friends. I like all the pictures of her kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
but I've done that too. Meet up with the ex. Like you run into them and like that's great. Like catch up and stuff like that. And like I think people can be friends or friendly with their exes.
Friendly. I couldn't be friends on like a friend like hang basis.
No.
With an ex.
I have one ex that I'm friend like we'll hang out, but it's always like that weird like you're friends but you're friends with a history.
I guess it would all depend on who I'm with at the time and how they accept that friendship.
Well, that's also true because you have to have boundaries.
You have to have boundaries.
And you have to respect your partner's boundaries.
Right. Actually, there was one time, because when I first started comedy, I was doing a gig in Hoboken.
Hoboken, no joking?
Hoboken, no joking. And she happened to be in the audience.
So funny.
And I was doing, some of my early jokes were about her. Well, because I started doing comedy probably 3 years after we broke up.
Okay.
So you're just pulling from your life.
Yeah.
And I got off stage and I knew she was there, but I only had my act.
But
so I'm doing what I gotta do. It was very early on. I got these 8 to 10 minutes and we're rolling with it. And then she comes up, she was laughing, she goes, I wasn't that bad.
That's fine. She had a good
sense of humor about it.
Did she know that she go to see you?
No, she just happened to be there that night.
That's crazy.
Just happened to be
I
there.
love those little coincidences in life.
Yeah, it happens to me a lot.
Are you a person that believes in like faith in like fate, not fate in like destiny? Or are you more of a coincidental person or a mix?
Okay, now we'll get deep as far as like spirituality.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay.
Why not?
I do believe.
Everyone else shut this podcast off at this point. Yeah, it's just us.
It's just us. I hope not. You're missing the good stuff.
This is good.
I do believe in something more than coincidence.
Yes.
Something more than coincidence. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you a story about when I got clean.
Okay.
Okay, so I got clean very early. I was 19, almost 20. So that's when I decided I'm on a really bad path. I really got to get off. But I was very hard in the beginning. So I remember my first sponsor in the program was saying, because I didn't really know if I didn't know what I believed in.
Right.
He's like, just look for signs of something working in your life, putting things in your life. So I remember there was a day where I'm home and I just decided that I don't want to be clean no more. I was going to go relapse. Like that was just in my head.
That's got to be a crazy feeling.
So I always had, back when I was like, okay, I'm going to go to Krauser's, get a pack of cigarettes, and then go drive to New York and just blow my money on partying until all the money's gone.
Right.
Go to Krauser's, get cigarettes, walk into my car. I see this guy, Doug, who's a close friend of mine. Very close. But then it was just a guy I saw at meetings. And he's like, hey, what's up, man? What are you doing? Now, Doug don't even live around there. right? So, and I'm like, oh, I'm all right, man. I'm just whatever, I'm just lying to him. He goes, you don't look right, man. You don't look good. I was like, yeah, I'm fine. He goes, dude, come with me. Let's take a ride. So, whatever. I didn't go get high that day. I stayed clean. So, fast forward 6 months later. Because the first year is terrible. It's like there's a mental
withdrawal and stuff like that too.
Well, the withdrawal, but it's because what you learn about addiction is it's more of like a self-centered it's not even about the drugs. It's you.
Right.
You're trying to fill this void that you have in your life at that time. And drugs happen to be what you're using.
Right.
You know what I mean? To do it.
Some people use cookies.
That's my current. That's where
Which is a better one to go to, right?
Yeah, we're gonna call this episode "Getting Deep." So about 6 months later, I have the same feeling again. Whatever. I don't remember my problems back then, but I was like, I'm done. So I remembered that time with Doug at Krauser's. So I'm not getting cigarettes there. I was afraid Doug was going to be there. Like, I remember. I go.
Right. Doug will be at that one.
I'm going straight from my house
to New York
to the place. So I go into the toll booth at the Parkway. Doug is in the toll booth next to me. I am not. When I go celebrate or I get asked to speak, I always tell this story.
That's a great story.
And Doug's like, oh, because he has this very distinct sound to his voice, Doug. And he's like, yo.
Yeah.
And I go, what? And he's like, yo, what's up, man? I'm like, what? He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing, man. I'm just, got some errands to run. He goes, do me a favor, pull over once we get past the toll booth. So I go over and pull, and I don't even know why I'm listening to him, but I think so, because I think deep down I didn't want to do this, but it's like, I didn't have tools then to deal with it. I'm learning. And then it's things like that, like people put in my life, or like that's unexplainable to me. It's on, and I roll with it because I believe in it. I don't know what it is.
I love it.
I try not to identify it because I feel like that it makes it murky. I'm like, you know what? And it always whatever that is returns from time to time.
I think believing in stuff like that makes life so much more interesting. I always say, I joke, I say I'm a little wooey. That's what I say. Like
What's
I'm
a wooey?
like I'm a spiritual. I used to teach yoga and I'm very more. I always say more spiritual than religious. I find religion very interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know who's got the right one, or if there is a right one. Why can't all of the ideas be whatever? So I believe in something. There's got to be something. There's definitely something in the universe. I'll always say something like the universe has my back, whatever. But I believe in fate, and I believe that things happen for a reason, and I believe that obviously the decisions we make take us on a journey, but there's been too many things that have happened in my life, or too many people I've met that have changed the course of where I thought it was going. Yeah, and I love that, and I love that it's an adventure. I don't know. Oh, I don't have any very deep story. I can't think of anything. That Doug story is crazy, but definitely I believe in fate. There's got to be more than coincidence.
Oh, I totally believe in it.
Yeah,
because there's because a lot of because I always talk about Big Freddie. I've had two sponsors. My first sponsor, Greg. Actually, I was in a band with him for a lot of years. Nice. I met him but we grew apart as far as, and then I met Freddie, who was this really talking about spirituality. He was the type of guy that cherry picks and makes things, but he always had like good stuff like that, and he always had these great sayings, and and I always believed in I always had things I wanted I could have. Right. It's whether you were ready in my time. Yep. And in a lot of my life, I hadn't have patience.
That's me, 100.
To allow. I'm not ready for that thing.
But you want it.
I want it. Yeah. But then anytime I would do it despite is garbage.
Well, that's 100% me, and that's something I work through and reflect on. I am very much sometimes I get to be like, if it's not happening now, it's never going to happen, which is not the case. No. But I get like that in my own head. Like, I'll be like, well, if I don't have it yet, I'm never going to get it, which is not true.
It's not true.
You know?
I equate that to me being clean. We probably make this into a two-parter because this.
That's okay. This is very deep for us.
No, I like it. I like talk. To me, this is a good podcast.
I think somebody will get something out of this.
One thing I've learned in creativity.
If you would have told me.
No, but one thing I've learned, even with when I create shows at the studio,
right?
When I I don't know what people want. You know what I mean? I don't know what
It's true though.
Like the audience don't know what they want.
Right.
You got to give it to them. And if they like it, they'll listen. Like they'll put on this episode. If they like it, they'll keep listening. If they don't, they won't.
Move on.
What was it? There's that clip you see that clip going around with Noah Gallagher from Oasis?
I did not say this, but continue.
You know who Oasis is. So he goes, the audience doesn't know what they want.
Right.
Like he goes fashion, people in fashion.
Oh yeah.
They don't poll the world and say, what do you guys want to wear this summer?
They just tell them.
They do it, and you either like it and buy it or you don't.
Well,
and that's my feeling as far as this podcast.
Right. Because we have fun.
Creativity.
We have a lot of fun.
As long as we're having fun. My mother's having a great time right now.
Because, first of all, we were literally ready to talk about other things. And we have not, we're talking for like almost an hour. We have not gotten to
any news stories.
Any of that.
We should do 2 regular podcast things before we wrap up this episode.
All right.
So we'll have so we're very spiritual. We're
woo-wee. I always say I'm woo-wee.
Yeah,
I'm woo-wee.
Wait, what's woo-wee again?
I say woo-wee is like just like that. I don't even know. It's like I'm just like spiritual. I'm like.
Oh, you're woo-wee. I thought woo-wee was like a.
No.
Okay.
I just say woo-wee is like woo-wee. Spiritual. It's like my joke joke term. All right.
Okay, so we're gonna try a couple. At least one news story, and then maybe.
I was trying to see if anyone. I did the ask me a question thing to see if there'd be anything interesting we talk about on here. Hold on. You can cut this out. Blah, 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 blah. No, just like when I don't get messages, the app will send me messages.
Gotcha.
And I'm like, I'm not reading this.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about an obituary.
Hey, it's right there with spirituality.
Spirituality, right? We're on the same. So I saw this and I was like, this sounds like it's going to be good. It's a BuzzFeed article. I like BuzzFeed. It says, this women's controversial obituary for her mom caused outrage, but I think we need more like it. So, many of us have been told, don't speak ill of the dead, but what happens when someone who caused trauma dies? Let's see. We'll go.
Did you read the obituary? I read it.
I didn't.
It's insane.
So you're going to get my reaction on camera. So for survivors of abuse, their abuser's death might be their first opportunity to safely share their stories. Thankfully, our cultural mythologies about this everlasting love of families, blah, 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 blah.
It's a long article. There's a link to the actual obituary.
Right. So late last year, a viral obituary detailed the lifetime of extreme abuse that Gail Harvey Heckman, what a name, claimed to experience at her mother's hands. So she was abused by her mother.
Yes.
Okay. Do I need to give any more background before I read the obituary?
No, read the obituary. The obituary says the whole thing. So the basic story is about this woman put a negative obituary about her mother, like about her mother's life, and then the newspaper wound up taking it down because I guess they didn't vet it enough. And it's like the concept is, we'll read it and then we'll talk about the concept.
I can't find it. Hold on.
I think when they say that, there's like a link right there.
There's a lot of things linked.
That's up in the
on the beginning. Right? Oh, here it goes. Where it says viral obituary.
Yeah.
That might be the one. Oh. Oh no, this brought me to another article. Oh, is this? Did you read that?
That's the obituary right there. It's the actual newspaper.
Oh my gosh.
It's pretty vicious.
Should I even say her name?
Yeah, she's dead.
Linda Lernal Stoll was born on October 1st, 1951. Welcomed to the world by loving parents who preceded her in death. In February of 1969, she gave birth to her first child, Gail Harvey Heckman. Lernal deceived her first husband, Roderick Allen Harvey, into believing that he was her first child's biological father. They married and divorced when Gail was 3 years old. Lernal then had Gail adopted by her second husband, Frank Randall Cullum. They divorced after a decade of marriage. Gail never heard from Frank again. Lernal's third husband, James Floyd Hart, sexually abused Gail when she was 13. Oh my God. Instead of protecting her daughter, Lernal accused Gail of trying to steal her husband and proceeded to beat her senselessly.
This is an obituary, by the way.
After another divorce, Lernal acquired her fourth husband. You only get 2, by the way. My dad tells me I only get 1 more shot. You get 2. You don't get 4. Through the unofficial or illegible word-of-mouth inmate-run Jackson State Prison Pen Pal program. In between and during her marriages, there were a variety of unsavory men in and out of our home. As a mother, Lernal was violent, hateful, and cruel. She physically, mentally, emotionally, and verbally and financially abused Gail. Lernal allowed for her many inappropriate suitors to sexually abuse Gail. This is terrible. Lernal's abuse continued into Gail's adulthood, attempting to physically, verbally, emotionally, and mentally abuse her in front of her children. Gail had to establish a no-contact order to protect herself and her family. That was 24 years ago. In March of 2023, Gail unexpectedly found out who her biological father was through a popular online DNA service. Maybe it was 23andMe. We don't know. After years of deception from Lernal regarding who Gail's father was, Gail and her family are navigating the waters of getting to know their paternal biological family. That's kind of like a nice silver lining.
There's a little
like she's
silver
getting to know this. I didn't finish the obituary yet, by the way, people. She's getting to know her dad. That's nice. This is it. Lernal will never be the mother and grandmother that she could have chosen to be to her family. That door is closed forever with her death. That is what Gail and her family grieve, who their mother and grandmother could have been. While they are afraid that Gail, her husband, and their 4 children cannot share their grief, their heartache lies with Lernal's brothers and sisters, their aunts, uncles, and cousins as they grieve the death of a complicated family member whom they love very much. Lernal passed away December 12th, 2023 in Three Rivers, is MI Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay. And will now face judgment. Oof. Gail and her family forgive Lernal and hope that she has found peace. They also hope to find peace within themselves. Lernal will not be missed by Gail or her family. They all understand that the world is a much better place without her.
Wow. Right? Is that an obituary?
So
the story is...
Did she have any other children, or was it just the daughter?
It sounds like just the daughter, but like the topic is... Should we allow...
She gave birth to her first child.
Oh, so then she did have
She might have. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Should you be allowed to put obituaries like that?
Sure.
Like honest obituaries, or is that like appropriate for a newspaper? I think it totally is.
I think it's really fine. I think that is the... I think that must have been so therapeutic for that woman.
Yeah.
After what she went through.
That's what they say. It's therapeutic for her. It's like she finally is able to... Like they're making it about the dead bad mom when they took it out of the paper.
Right, because my whole thing is this: the woman let her daughter be assaulted for years. Like she deserved way worse than that.
Yeah.
The woman who died, like. Not the daughter. I want to make sure we're on the same. Like, I am siding with the daughter.
Yeah, we're siding with
the siding with the daughter.
I have to say, this is the most serious podcast we have. I thought we were going to get some comedy. I'm like, this is the saddest story ever.
It's ridiculous.
It's so sad.
I didn't think what we were talking about before was sad, though.
No, it wasn't sad. It was deep.
Just deep.
I loved it. Let me tell you something. I'm a deep guy.
I'm deep too. We were talking about this. Like, we're both very logical, but we like emotion. We're emotional. We're in depth. We're in sync with our emotions.
In sync with our emotions. I like to think deeply.
Right.
That's why I like to journal. Not like your friend, like a real. Like
we're really throwing that term around loosely.
Yeah, loosely.
Lefty loosey goosey.
I don't have a dedicated time where I journal.
Lefty loosey goosey. Was that from this episode or something?
Yeah, I think it was the beginning of this episode. Lefty loosey. Maybe that's the name of the episode. Lefty loosey goosey. It's got to be getting deep or something. But anyway, I had a great time.
This was fun.
This was a great episode. It's one of my favorites. I can tell already.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
More fun than the Thanksgiving.
Listen, talk about things.
We need some serious stuff. We also talked about depression that one time.
Yeah, I'm cutting out some clips about that.
Oh,
I think.
fancy
I'm going to do
us.
some clips. We're not going to only have just us doing improv poorly. We're going to do...
we didn't do that this episode.
We didn't.
Should we end with that?
Should we end with it? Yeah. Should we do the old school way or the new school way?
Oh, the new school way.
Okay, we're going to do the new school way. We have a prompt.
We'll leave you with a laugh, hopefully.
I'll send you the link to this prompt. It's fun to just like play around with.
I wonder if I could do it with my students. They'll be like, what is improv? ¿Cómo se dice improv en español?
Yeah, it may be. I don't know what it is. I can find anything fast unless I'm on the podcast.
We should play the Pink Panther theme song when we're taking time doing stuff.
I would if they would take us down.
They'd be like, get off.
They would take us. Oh yeah, because it was articles for November. Oh, this is a story we'll talk about another time. Did you see that one I sent you about the woman who nobody showed up at her wedding?
Yes.
All right, we'll talk about that next time. What is that? Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, can I get a? Isn't it okay? So this gives us a word, relationship, or location.
Okay.
We can go whichever one first. Which should I do first? Location, relationship, or word, or which?
That doesn't matter.
All right.
I think we started with word last time.
Reggae.
Is our word?
Is our word. Well, you could use
Sure.
use it in any way. You don't have to use the word reggae. It could take place at a reggae. You know what I mean? Or okay, relationship, biologist, submarine pilot. So reggae is the word.
Obviously.
Biologist, submarine pilot. Location, junkyard.
Obviously.
Okay.
Obviously. You want me to say?
You want? Hey man. This junkyard.
Are you doing the whole story? Get some music.
Oh,
Can we
we gotta do one word improv. I forgot. I'm doing multiple word improv right now. Okay. Hey.
What did we start?
Oh, I thought it was it. Yeah.
Mon.
This
Junkyard.
has biologist
Submarine.
that
Looks.
like
It.
should
Fly.
over reggae
Party.
I'm gonna leave it at that. Really.
We needed that.
We
laughed. We cried. We didn't cry, but we got deep.
That was this thing's pretty fun.
That was great,
I'm gonna
actually.
Text it to you
Please.
so you can have it. All right, everybody. That is another. Wait. Okay. For real. If you would have told me.
This was. I had no idea what direction this episode was going in.
Well, we just totally, because if you remember,
You never even told the TikTok story. We started talking about dating because we were talking about the TikTok story. You got to do the TikTok
I'll tell
story.
a TikTok story.
No,
I'll edit it and throw it at the beginning.
no, I think it's better like this.
All right, so TikTok story. Emily and I share the login for the podcast TikTok account.
Yes.
So I guess, the algorithm sees, I guess when Emily goes on, when I go on, it sees a guy and a girl. We're posting clips. I don't know. The algorithm is just sends you videos. So I was hanging out. I forget who I was hanging out with. I wish I could remember.
Your brother.
Maybe a brother. I think it was a brother.
A brother. Somebody's
I have
brother.
two brothers. So one of them
was one of the brothers.
I have two brothers. But I opened TikTok to check, and the audio's on, and it says, 5 signs a guy's not into you. And I'm just like, and they look at me, they're like, what? I'm like,
this is not me.
This is not my TikTok.
It's my partner.
Yeah, if it was my TikTok, a corgi would be barking right now.
It would also be 5 signs she's not into you.
Yeah, it'd be 5 signs she's not into you. But it was just so funny, the look on their face because it was so loud. 5 signs
he's not into you.
Because I'm like, with that look, like I'm looking, I'm like, because like I said before, everything reads on my face. I just looked up.
I keep getting on my regular For You page. I can tell you this is not what I'm looking up, but I keep getting these 5 countries have polygamy. I'm like, what? Why am I getting this? It'll be that. There'll be like an episode of SVU. And I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna watch this.
Nice.
So that's my algorithm.
That's your algorithm. My algorithm is crazy.
Yeah, lots of dogs. And then it's that guy I showed you that just looked at the woman and does the videos. Like,
They have dogs. A lot of like like pastry chefs. I have well, it's like these weird. It's like these like is it cake or isn't, or like these people that make
and they cut it. They look like they're cutting a puppy, but it's a cake.
It's a cake, yeah. Or like this guy makes these like desserts, but look, I don't even know how to explain it. Like he would make like this chair.
Who's eating that though?
No, but I mean, yeah, you wouldn't be in a restaurant and be like, can I have a chair? Can I have a chair? Extra whipped cream. Somebody made one. I don't know if it was real, if it was AI, but they made one. Is it cake or real? It was like faces. They were putting a blade through it. I'm like, oh, I hope it's a cake. Yeah. Yeah. No, I know it wasn't a real head. I just didn't know if it was a real cake they made. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so dumb. I'm sitting home. I'm like, this better not be somebody's head. I don't know, led the podcast. This wasn't cake. This wasn't cake. Imagine as a guy's defense when he kills someone. Why'd you cut your roommate's head in half? I thought it was cake. He's a pastry chef that makes these lifelike things, and I came home hungry. I was stoned, and I thought it was cake. So that'll be a headline we would do. Man beheads roommate thinking he's cake.
I don't know why they just keep reminding me of Eddie Izzard's Cake or Death.
I'm gonna puke. Oh my god. All right, that's a great way to end.
This is such a weird episode.
This is the weirdest episode,
great,
but the best. We're getting in our groove.
Yeah.
All right, follow me and Emily on the podcast and on Facebook. YouTube.com/Joe Fernandes.
I don't have a YouTube.
You shouldn't have YouTube. And we have Instagram, TikTok, all the send us messages.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
If you've made it this far.
I hope you did. This is an episode where they better have made it to the end.
Maybe I should do like an intro, be like, you guys got to stay through this whole thing.
This is a wild ride, guys.